live E3 2016 coverage in partnership with MMO Examiner. Just want to give one final shout out to our other partners, DL Compare, giving you gaming content at a bargain, and Multicast, a streaming service. We are here to watch the Nintendo Live Treehouse experience, which is going to be starting soon, within the next 10 minutes. This is a little bit different, compared to what Nintendo has done in the past. Now, they've usually done their Nintendo Direct series where they sort of do a quick briefing of what they have in store over the next year. This is going to be a bit more of them showcasing games live. The primary focus being two games, The Legend of Zelda for Wii U and NX, and Pokemon Sun and Moon, as well as a few others here and there, like the upcoming Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, and there was another one. Oh, Monster Hunter Generations, I think, is the other one that they're planning on showing. As always, when we're talking about Nintendo, it is hard to tell whether or not they're going to pull any surprises. So we're really, going to keep our eyes open as far as that goes, because if they end up, announcing anything, I think it'd be a pretty big deal. So yeah, they've got this cool Zelda thing going on for their wait screen. I'm a little bit, and this is just speaking about Zelda, I'm wondering what their plan is in way of this costume, because this blue hooded look is very different from Link's signature green tunic. And this is all that we've really seen since the game was announced, and I'm wondering if they're planning on making any changes to that.
I wonder if they'll be sort of doing a little bit of an outfit reimagining of a lot of different people. I mean, aesthetically, even Princess Zelda looked very different in like Skyward Sword in comparison to how she normally does, and I think that was really cool. I kind of like this aesthetic reimagining with a different entry in the franchise.
I, for one, would be very satisfied if there was some level of customization for Link, because they've been sort of trying to paint this picture of Link as an insert character since the original Zelda.
I mean, he doesn't talk.
With a static experience, it's like, no, Link sort of became a character in and of himself. But with this game, I feel like it'd be the prime opportunity to add that layer of, character or player autonomy, because it's supposed to be an open world game. So, if they were to take that direction, I definitely would be for it.
In something a little bit more than just change
an insert character, and this is supposed to be my experience, or if this is, if the future of Zelda is Link as his own entity.
And if so, he needs to start having a personality.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, for me, was one of the complicated aspects of Fire Emblem Fates, which just came out, which is that the game sort of puts you in the shoes of a character that's supposed to be you, and yet has arguably too much personality. So it almost feels like you don't really have control over a lot of, important aspects of the game. There are like 3 or 4 major decisions, and that's about it, But yeah, otherwise, I think this is very promising. The way we have it planned right now is that we're lined up to cover 2 hours of this. I will likely continue watching it once we go off stream, and then I will be probably live tweeting and doing some updates both on the game room and MMO. Character that's supposed to be you, and yet has arguably too much personality. So it almost feels like you don't really have control over a lot of, important aspects of the game. There are like 3 or 4 major decisions, and that's about it, But yeah, otherwise, I think this is very promising. The way we have it planned right now is that we're lined up to cover 2 hours of this. I will likely continue watching it once we go off stream, and then I will be probably live tweeting and doing some updates both on the game room and MMO Examiner, just to keep you guys abreast to what Nintendo's got going on, and my commentary as well, for those of you who will continue to watch their stream directly. Oh, I can't hear you. I don't know if your mic went out or...
I think it did, but I should be back now.
Yep,
There we go. I was just saying that of all the people to have, you are the most qualified to be watching and commentating on the Nintendo stream as a long-time, die-hard Nintendo fanboy.
Oh, absolutely.
You would know a lot about the history of the games, pretty much every game that's come out, while you haven't played them all start to finish, just because there are some franchises that don't interest you.
Yeah.
You at least know about the history and the mechanics of each game.
Nintendo was the company that really inspired me to start the original Mustafa's Game Room site years ago. You know, and it was watching them prepare for some of the stuff they had in order for E3 that really got me set in that direction of, you know, sort of commentating and observing their content. And then obviously, as I started to study game design, that expanded outward, and I got more versatile, I guess, knowledge within all of the different companies and franchises and whatnot. But you know, I'm still a pretty diehard Nintendo fan at heart. So
I got into games because I wasn't happy with the games I was playing. I was like, why doesn't it do this? And then I was like, oh, I should just learn how to make them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh crap, this is amazing. I want to do this for the rest of my life.
I remember 5 years ago, E3 2011 will forever stand as my favorite press conference that Nintendo's done, because they really just blew it out of the water in so many different ways. You know, like that was what I would consider the down and out period for the Nintendo Wii, and the 3DS was on the rise, and they needed to pick up just a little bit more momentum. And they had announced the price drop and the ambassador games and all that stuff, but this time they really were like, okay, here are some sick new titles, and they, for like an hour and a half, just announced some of the most like interesting games they've ever announced consecutively. Like they opened with the Zelda Symphony, and then they're like, there's a Zelda game for every platform coming out every month leading up to Skyward Sword's release. So they put, you know, games on the Virtual Console, and they launched Ocarina of Time 3D, and then the Legend of Zelda 4 Swords for the DSi came out for free. And then they were like, okay, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Kid Icarus Uprising, the Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 7. You know, they really were sort of deep in their franchises. Oh, that was also when they gave more details on the Star Fox 64 3D. And then at the end of all of it, they're like, okay, so we've done all our talking about 3DS, and they're like, here's the Wii U. Check out this controller, you know. And they didn't show any games for it, but it was still just such a novelty. And then they had the 3DS and the Wii U up on the screen, and I'll never forget this moment, because I was watching it with my brother, and he was like freaking out. Satoru Iwata is walking on stage, and he says, I was just meeting with Masahiro Sakurai at Sora Limited to discuss Kid Icarus Uprising with him, and we made the decision to make a Super Smash Bros. Game for Wii U and 3DS. I don't think I've ever heard a crowd at E3 cheer that loud. It was fantastic. You know, it was definitely a new direction for them too. So, you know, that was such a big conference. So I think that's really what, you know, sort of captures what they should be doing at E3, and it shows what they're capable of doing with their signature IPs. You know, a couple of years ago when they announced Splatoon, that got everybody talking. And so it's a little bit weird to see them going this direction, where they don't really have a way to sort of just brief us on what titles are coming out. And it's been 3 months since the last Nintendo Direct anyway, so I think that they should have enough to show by now. I don't know. I think the next one, though, they're probably going to do like a bigger live event to talk about the NX.
What's the number one thing that you want to see today? What's your hope?
Honestly, I don't know. I know what I want to hear is some detail, even a hint about the NX.
Me too. Me too. I just want more hardware specifications.
Yeah, and if they can't do that, then
Then they failed me.
I would like to see
0 out of 10.
a new game announcement.
A new game or a new
IP?
Any first party IP?
Yep.
Right on.
Except maybe
They've already done one new IP in this decade. They can't do another.
Yeah.
That's asking way too much.
Yeah. I would like to see, them. I heard a rumor that they plan on announcing a new title tomorrow. But who knows? It's Nintendo. So we'll sort of find out as we go. I think that's the plan here.
They just don't seem to give a hoot about E3. They'll show whatever they want whenever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's once they, it makes sense for them to pool their own resources, to talk about the stuff that they're working on because it's cheaper, obviously, but it's also like such a big event. It kind of stinks seeing one of the largest entities in the industry sort of on a down and out in way of presence. It's 12 p.m. now, so they should be starting any minute.
Wow.
Hi.
Just like that.
This is Reggie from Nintendo.
Good job, Mustafa.
Before we begin, we want to extend our condolences to all the victims of the 2 tragic events.
I think you're just a second ahead of me.
Our thoughts are with their families and their communities. And this includes Christina Grimmie, who was killed in the earlier incident and was scheduled to visit us here at our E3 booth this week. At Nintendo, we try to make our fans smile. But this week at E3, we'll also be shedding a few tears. Please join me in a moment of silence.
Four for 4. I think I'm just a couple seconds ahead of you.
I've got the logo right here, the E3 2016 logo.
If you've been a fan of Nintendo over the years, you'll know that the Nintendo experience is different at every E3. We always look for the best way to introduce our most important content. And this year is no different. And that's why we're coming to you directly from our show booth on the set of Nintendo Treehouse Live. On the other side of the wall behind me, the finishing touches are being made before we open it up to thousands of industry insiders in just a couple of hours. That space will immerse visitors in the world of a single game, the newest entry in the Legend of Zelda franchise. What's in store is an entirely new format.
You're getting our volumes a little low.
Oh, right on. Let me kick that up. Sorry about that, folks.
The way millions of people thought about video games.
There you go.
And this week, you'll discover a game that could change that thinking again. Here's the first look at what awaits.
Open your eyes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oof. You're welcome, Octo Sloth. Hey, you might just getting our face cams out of the way.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks for the reminder. Boop boop, we're gone.
Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
Oh my lord, hang gliding.
This is so cool.
Ooh, that's cell shading.
This is beautiful.
Now this is very open world.
Yeah.
He just cooked a meal.
A spear, wow.
Yeah, a lot of different weapons. Whoa, he's wearing armor. What the heck? They really went all out with this whole open world thing.
Seriously. Wow.
And apparently this is on the NX, so I can play it on the go? Imagine playing this just like on a train.
Ugh. I can't. Let's go, we got a title now.
Breath of the Wilds.
Okay.
Nice, it has a name now.
Yep.
Yeah, those are some beautiful visuals, very stylized.
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild introduces you to a Hyrule that is truly seamless, where simply moving from one place to another begins to create what may be the adventure of a lifetime. And not only is this new world vast, but it feels alive. It teems with adventure. Throughout Link's quest, Hyrule will be a resource, an ally, an enemy, and always a place for discovery and wonder. This is easily one of the biggest experiences ever created by Nintendo. And today, you're going to get a close-up look. The portion of the game we're highlighting at E3, a wide-ranging plateau, may seem huge. In fact, no one here this week will be able to explore all of it. But even then, that plateau is only a tiny fraction of the full game map. We'll be devoting almost this full first day of Nintendo Treehouse Live coverage to just this one environment. Then, in the future, you'll learn more about the story, the characters, and the ways in which the boundaries of all previous Zelda titles are being broken.
Yeah, rip Witcher.
But in the end, full understanding and full immersion will only come when you experience it for yourself.
Legend of Zelda: Blood and Wine.
However, before we show you this biggest adventure for Wii U and NX, we're going to show you the biggest new adventure coming up for Nintendo 3DS. As you've heard, there are two new core Pokemon titles on the way on November 18th.
Right.
Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
Oh, yeah, buffering.
Yeah, me too. Do a quick refresh.
Well,
Oh, is yours still buffering?
we figured
I
there
just got
was
it back.
no one better equipped to answer those questions
Do you have the
than
three
the two
starter
key
Pokemon up?
developers of the
I
game
just
itself,
cut away.
producer Junichi Matsuda and director Shigeru Omori.
Looking at
Okay.
Shigeru Umori right now.
So before we devote the
And then
rest
cut
of
away.
the day to The Legend of Zelda, I'm going to turn it over to the Treehouse team along with Mr.
You wanna pause it
Matsuda
just a
and
second?
Mr. Omori
Because I'm a little bit behind you.
to show you what it's like to start as a Pokemon trainer in the first ever live gameplay demonstration of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
I wonder if this is going to be a big
So let's
game
jump in.
changer, like
Take it
Infinite
away,
Warfare
Sam
was
Carroll.
to Modern Warfare.
Thanks, Reggie. And thanks to everyone watching for tuning in and joining us for another Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. We're really excited to get started.
You're welcome.
So, as Reggie mentioned, I'm Sam from Nintendo, and joining me up here, I've got Terry from Nintendo.
Yeah, I still think
and
you're
my
just a
colleague
second
David
ahead
from
of me.
TPCI. And we've also got our
One Mississippi. Boom.
very special guests, Masuda-san and Omori-san from Game Freak, who are joining us to chat about Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. Now, Pokemon fans already know that you guys have a very long history of working with the Pokemon franchise, but could you tell our viewers us a little bit more about what you guys are doing specifically with Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon?
2人ともポケモンの開発に関わってすごく歴史が長いんですけれども、今回のポケモンサンとポケモンムーンでの役割について教えてもらえますか？
そうですね、今年ポケモンが20周年ということで、ここから先のポケモン、未来に向けてのポケモンということで、私はプロデュースに徹して、今回茂大森が、ディレクターという新しい体制で取り組みました。
So this is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, as I think many of you know, and when thinking about the future of Pokemon, I've decided that I would be the producer on this title, and pass over the director role over to Shigeru Omori here for Pokemon Sun and Moon.
今回、ポケットモンスターサンムーンの、ディレクターをしました大森と申します。今回はディレクターとして
We should learn Japanese so we can watch these better.
So I'm Shigeru Omori from Game Freak, and I was the director on this game, overseeing the entire development of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you brought some art assets that we can take a look at to introduce folks to the Pokemon Moon, Pokemon Sun collection. But first, we've actually got some video footage that you brought for us. So, folks watching, if you sit tight, we're actually going to get that queued up for you so you can take a look.
Guys, sit tight. They're queuing it up. All right, you can run around as a Poke trainer. You can look at this old man.
Yep.
And these Pokemen.
Litton. That's a good name.
Is it just me or is their stream kind of cut off a little bit?
What do you mean?
Like I'm on the YouTube stream and it's like cutting off the name at the top.
Yeah, no, I don't have that.
How bizarre.
But I'm also on my TV, so I'm not my monitor. Or my monitor, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Give me chicken skin.
All right, so there's a lot for us to talk about just from the footage there. The first thing I'd like to actually ask you is if you could tell us a little bit more about the background of why you went with Sun and Moon as the titles for these games.
映像で結構話す内容というのが出てきたんですけれども、まずはそうですね、サンとムーンの
Yo, that dude is killing it with Japanese right now.
教えてもらえますか？
はい、私たちの住んでいるこの地球っていうところには生き物がたくさんいるわけですけども、その中で、その生き物に対してとても影響がある、そのコアとなっているものっていうのがやっぱり太陽と月っていうのは非常に大切なものだと思うんですね。で今回はその、生命を、より魅力的に見せていきたいっていう思いもあって、その一番影響のあるもの、サンとムーンっていうのをタイトルにしました。
So there's a variety of meanings behind the titles, but one of the main things is that, for example, for here on Earth, obviously, the sun really is the source of all life on this planet, and in the same way in the Pokemon world, it's also the source of life on the planet, and the moon also affects all of our lives here as well. And with this game, we really wanted to express this kind of feeling of a region really teeming with life, so we felt that Sun and Moon would be an appropriate title for the games.
And I think especially thinking about these big elemental forces, Sun and the Moon, we also need to talk about those legendaries that are on the packaging, because I think folks are going to really want to hear a little bit more about what they can expect from those Pokemon.
そう太陽と月の存在の多分表しにもなってるんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、このかっこいい伝説のポケモンについて、
She is really happy.
そうですね。
She's just happy to be here, man. She's just having a great time. Happy to help.
月の使者として伝えられているんですけども、今まで、以上に
I think that's just fresh coming out their stream.
物語自体にかなり、関係してくる2匹になりますので、楽しみにしていてほしいなと思います。
So in the games, the legends say that Solgaleo and Lunala are the emissaries of the sun and the moon, respectively. And these two legendary Pokemon actually, they kind of play a unique role. They tie into the story in a unique way that we really haven't done with pairs of legendary Pokemon before. So I think fans will be really excited about it.
I think there's a really interesting spiritual element that we get in these games. I won't talk about that too much yet because I know we're saving some surprises. But on the subject of legendaries, I know you recently had an event in Taiwan where you revealed some news about another legendary Pokemon folks remember from XY and what they might expect from that Pokemon in these games.
We're like the worst people to be on this segment for the stream, you and I. Because we don't really care about Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm not in line with
We're
Pokemon.
both kind of burnt out on the franchise. Sorry, viewers, if you wanted really good Pokemon commentary out of us.
いうお知らせが、出ましたけども、今回このジガルでも活躍するっていうのがポイントかなと
I
思
mean,
い
I
ます。
am pretty happy about the art direction that they're taking.
It just looks like X and Y.
I mean, to me, it looks a little bit more like
the 10% form and complete
the
form,
GameCube
in the
games.
games, and these Pokemon
That's
will,
what
or these
I'm
forms will appear
mentally being
in
brought
Pokemon Sun
back to, and
Moon,
I
kind
think
of
that
in a
is
special way
much
that I
better
think people will be
than
excited
X
about.
and Y's
It
art
looks so
style.
cool.
Having these sort
And
of
actually, here,
very
since we're looking at a little bit of the Alola region in
stubby,
the background,
chibi-looking
so probably a good
characters
chance
that
to
really
talk,
took me out.
maybe a little bit more detail about the Alola region and what players can maybe expect there.
あと今回冒険の舞台となるそのアローラ地方について、
Yeah.
これどんな地方な
I
の
don't
か
like
教
the
えてもらえますか？
there's been this like I mean, like, I know in the original games there was like Porygon and Porygon 2, and they were synthetic, but I don't like that all these Pokemon are like straight up robots.
Yeah, they're like armor-plated. What? Yeah, they're Gundams. They're Gundams, exactly. These aren't Pokemon, they aren't organic beings.
Animals, they're robots.
So the Alola region, as you can see, it's made
The
of
first
four
robot-looking
islands,
one was actually just made out of like
as well.
minerals and ice, so
But
it was
it's
like,
really,
oh,
this
makes
region
sense for
that's
him to
just
be
like a teeming
geometric
with life,
because
and that's
he's a
actually
crystal.
behind the name of the region itself. We have this meaning of kind
Some of them have
of
pants.
region over,
Look at all
like
these
miraculous
islands,
region
though.
overflowing
That's
with
cool.
Like, are
life
these
that
Pokemon
supply
born
all
with
this different,
pants?
Yes, I
life,
think
and,
so.
Is that actually their
That's really
skin? Does their
interesting.
skin
It's not
look like
connected to
pants?
any
That's
other regions.
disgusting.
You've got this really interesting
Oh,
area
what
of
was that
isolation.
meme
And
going
we're
around for
seeing
a
all
while
these
where
Pokemon that
Sylveon would
nobody's
be
ever
like
run
rubbing
into
other
before. It's
Pokemon
almost
with its
kind
ribbons
of
and it'd be
feels
like,
like
these
the
are made of
Galapagos
my
Islands, where you've got
flesh.
this really
Yeah.
interesting remote area where all these other creatures are popping up, and you've got new Pokemon and a really cool environment as well to explore.
陸地とつながってないので、他の大陸とつながってないので、こういろんな変わった生命がたくさん登場するんじゃないかなというふうには思ってるんですけども、そうですね。
そうですね、期待しててください。
Yeah, I think people will be surprised. There's some cool things to see in there.
There are, I've been playing it at work, and I'm very excited.
Started when like
であったりとか
anime
あ
had
の
sort of
タイ
this
プ
like
の
very
カラー
like
マックスタイプ
90s
だったらグリ
anime
ーンが入ってる
and early
っていう
2000s anime had a very
その分かりやす
distinct
さっていうのを
sort of
やっぱり
look
最初の
about
3
them.
匹は大事にしています。
You know, where
Another
with
thing we
like
always pay attention to with
narrow
Pokemon
faces
is
and
the
sharp
initial Pokemon
eyes
you
and
choose
stuff
your
like that
partner.
was
Is,
very
Didn't
kind
age
of
very well.
universally relatable,
Yeah.
so people from around the world will be able to look at these Pokemon and relate with them very easily, and also very easy to understand.
But now
For
everything is
example,
really
the first type
rounded
Pokemon
and
can
super
breathe easily,
saturated.
so
Mhm.
being careful with
I don't know. I feel like
I think what folks have seen
from a
already from the
style
animations that we've shown
perspective,
and a little bit
I
of video footage we've been
prefer
able to share, they
the way
they have a
the
lot of
first 3
personality.
gens of
I actually
Pokemon
picked
look
Popplio
to
because I'm a
the last
hardcore
few.
water
Mhm.
starter fan. My first was
I just
Squirtle,
think
and
that
I've
the
stuck with
weirdest
them.
thing about the
But
new
I've
Pokemon
been
is
having a
that
great time
we
so far,
have
and
these first 3
I'm really
generations
looking
of more
forward to seeing what
organic
other folks
animal-looking
people are gonna
Pokemon
get
to
into this as well.
juxtapose them with.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, why do they look like this? Which
Yeah.
is helpful for, was it X and Y, where it was like they just didn't have any
we
other
talked
previous
about with
Pokemon. They were
the
like, this
design
is the
of style of
generation.
Pokemon. I think they
Yeah.
also
Where that was
Yeah.
helpful, where it
nicely
was like,
in
okay,
with
this is
the
what they
current
look like.
tropical climate and
Whatever,
environment we've got.
cool.
And
I have
think that's
nothing
something
to
that we
like
worked
put
in
them
with
up
the
against.
design and
Yeah,
the
but
But
then
then
they
again,
do-
let's not forget Mr. Mime was in the first generation. What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, but
What
Mr.
the
Mime-
actual heck is that?
Mr. Mime was really weird though, you know? It was like kind of creepy. But now it's
And
kind of like if you showed me
Electabuzz?
Mr. Mime, I'd be like, oh, that's a Pokemon.
Oh, and Electabuzz? Who
Yeah.
did that? Who drew Electabuzz? Whose idea was that? Jinx? What? Who drew Jinx? Who wanted that? Who saw Pikachu and they're like, I know the new Pokemon is that we have these first 3 generations of more organic animal-looking Pokemon to juxtapose them with.
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, why do they look like this? Which
Yeah.
is helpful for, was it X and Y, where it was like they just didn't have any other previous Pokemon. They were like, this is the generation.
Yeah.
Where that was
Yeah.
helpful, where it was like, okay, this is what they look like. Whatever, cool. I have nothing to like put them up against.
Yeah,
But then again, let's not forget Mr. Mime was in the first this generation.
What
What
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah, but
What
Mr.
the
Mime-
actual heck is that?
Mr. Mime was really weird though, you know? It was like kind of creepy. But now it's
And
kind of like if you showed me
Electabuzz?
Mr. Mime, I'd be like, oh, that's a Pokemon.
Oh, and Electabuzz? Who did
Yeah.
that? Who drew Electabuzz? Whose idea was that? Jinx? What? Who drew Jinx? Who wanted that? Who saw Pikachu and they're like, I know what to draw next. I know what Pokemon would be really good.
Mr. Popo.
They're gonna see it's a little different.
What we'll do is we'll take Mr. Popo, give him a wig, put him in a dress. Guys, I don't know how I feel about this.
そうですね。よりこう没入感高めようと思って投資上がってますね。今回。
So yeah, we changed the proportions this time to be more realistic. We really wanted to
I
kind of
think
increase
the only
this sense
thing
of
about
immersion, and
Pokemon
think
that I
you'll, see
really
that when we
don't
get into the game.
love,
I
or
don't know
the
if
thing
we
that
can talk
really
about
sort
this yet,
of
but Sharpa
alienates
viewers
me
probably noticed
as a
that both of
player from
those,
the series
pieces of art,
is
there's an
that
interesting
it's very
bracelet that the players are
self-restricting
wearing.
in a lot of
I don't know
ways
if we
by
can-
its own
probably can't talk
premise.
about that just
So,
yet.
Like, it's the whole
theme
theme throughout the entirety of the Pokemon series is that you're supposed to love the Pokemon, right? And that they're more than just creatures, they're your friends. But then you can't really catch 6 Pokemon that you really like
Patient long enough
Yeah.
to
use
hurry,
in
you
a
gotta
party
jump
because
in
they
and show
might
some
not be
gameplay.
competitively viable, thus making
So I just
that
wanna mention,
almost
as we get into
impossible.
gameplay here, this game
You know,
is still
can we
in
get back to
development,
Zelda?
so,
Yeah.
folks, everything
Let's
you
get
see
back
here
to
might not
something
be
I care
exactly
about.
What you're gonna see in the final release of the game, but I think we can give you a really good sense of what the game's gonna look and feel like as we get started.
最初のものではなくて開発中のものですっていうことで
そうですね。
heard
こんな
that.
早い段階で実はライブでも行うのは初めてで、どんなポケモンが出るかっていうのもちょっと
Dr.
世界
Love
初公開
Boxing
のポケモン
Hugh,
登場するか
nothing
もしれないんで
personnel kid
ちょっと
too.
This is actually the first time for
That's
us
really
to
good.
show a Pokemon game at this stage in development, kind of via live gameplay. So, not really sure exactly what we're going to encounter in this. We may see some all-new Pokemon that haven't been revealed before.
Oh, keep my fingers crossed. That'd be really cool. Actually, as we get started here, Masuda-san, Nomori-san, can you tell us a little bit about the story and the background of what's going on right now in the game?
まあ今ここでちょっと主人公は何をしている場面になるんでしょうか。
そうですね、主人公はですね、アローラ地方に引っ越してきたばかりという設定になっています。で、今回すでに、少し進めていまして、最初のポケモンはすでに、もらっています。で、今から、リリータウンというところでお祭りが開催されるので、そこに向かうところです。
So at this point in the game, it's a little bit slightly into it, but it's the player actually had just moved to the Alola
I know
region
that shouldn't
the
be
other
as silly
day.
to me as it
And,
is, but his arms are just
one day
flailing.
previously, where we are in the game, he had received his first
This is
partner
walking.
Pokemon for his adventure. And right now,
I don't know
we're
about
on our
that.
way to a neighboring town where there's a festival.
Oh.
And I think here,
I
we
really
can
dig
see what we were
the
talking about
scale.
earlier. Oh,
Yeah, look at
jumped
this.
into the low
I'm
grass.
I'm feeling this world.
Much more actually 3D, because it's 2016, guys. We're not limited anymore. Oh look, it's a ladybug.
Just lost his arms remind me of a penguin.
Oh boy, it's a ladybug. Gotta fight it.
So as you can see in the
Fight it. Oh, more buffering. Kill me. Let's cut this to 360.
今回トレーナーとポケモンっていうものもしっかり描きたいと思ってトレーナーが一緒に
How does
こ
this
う
guy move?
ポケモン
No one
を
knows.
っていうところを再
Like, does
現
he just waddle on those two
in
stumps?
battle, you see the trainer is actually standing behind the Pokemon in the battle. So we really wanted to express this feeling of the trainer always being with his or her Pokemon.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that in a little bit more detail here because I feel like there's so much to
His
be done with
camera zoom.
the way the battle looks in this.
The battle camera zoom is killing me right now.
With what you did with the lighting and the dynamic camera
Oh
angles.
my god, it's so intense. It's like a football match or something. The camera just zooms in on the trainer.
そうですね
Although,
Oh my
this
god.
is actually kind of crazy because now this is starting
So yeah,
to
this is cool
look
lighting,
like
effects we're doing here where, for example, like a
this
shadow
is
you see,
definitely
it's,
looking to me like
in
they
the
took a
evening
lot of
it has a bit
inspiration
longer,
from the
but depending on
GameCube
the time of day,
games.
the lighting will kind of affect the mood of the battle.
I love this camera.
I think here Terry's kind of staying still for a
Panning
second to let
over.
us see how the camera is moving around. And this is something that'll just happen for you if you're staying still in the battle for a moment, and you really get a good chance to get a look at these Pokemon and the area that you're in and the environment.
まあこうやって一回テリー今止まってくれてるんですけれども、まあこうカメラ
I
に
hope it doesn't know there's zoom on this stupid blue
かっ
Pokemon.
こいいカメラの演出があってすごいこうバトルフィールドの
That's the best thing I've ever seen.
今回カメラもすごいダイナミックさっていうのを非常に意識して演出を入れていますね。
Just click water gun, please. I need you to click water gun.
And actually, as Terry gets started in the battle here, I was wondering if we could talk a little bit more about the different changes you've made to the battle interface. I know there's a lot that's really interesting, which makes the game really accessible to new players. Maybe this is their first Pokemon game, but it's also, I think, really satisfying as someone who's played a lot of Pokemon games. It feels really good, the changes that you've made here.
We've nearly had 300 total views on your Twitch stream, on your Twitch chat, channel, whatever. Congratulations.
親切なというか説明がいろいろ入れています。例えばそのインフォメーションボタンがあるんですけども、そちらをタッチすると今その技がどんな技か。
Oh my God! Use water gun, please.
You know, now's a good time actually to point out the donation button below the stream.
Keep us from losing our sanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Compelling gameplay is accurate. He used water gun! We did it!
Pokemon that you have to keep
Oh,
in
I
mind
think you're
now
still
as you're
just a
battling.
second ahead
It's
of
so
me.
nice to be able
Let me
to
go
pull
ahead and
that up,
pause.
if maybe you don't
Tell me when he gets hit by tackle.
Alright. Now.
Boom.
quite remember what
Synced
the thing
up.
is, being able to just pop it
Lovely.
up really fast there, it's like you don't have to use that information, but if
Wow,
maybe
use
your memory's not as good as it used
growl.
to be, it's so nice to be able to pull that
Why
up
would
and
you
take
ever
a look.
use that on like a level 5 versus level 5? Just use water gun till it dies.
そうですね。はい。
Brute force
Now, I don't know
strategy.
about anybody, if there's anyone in the chat who plays Pokemon, does anyone actually, like I know that you use stat debuffs obviously, somewhere in the meta, but does anyone ever use Growl? Like those default
Well,
moves?
also, does anyone ever use those against, like, NPCs? I feel like all of the stat debuffs are for when you do PvP. Like, if you're going up against another Pokemon, you can just hit water gun. Just keep doing water gun until they die.
And Pokemon Y, because I was really trying to see if maybe it was my fault that I wasn't enjoying the games, and I was able to one-shot just about everything equal to my level. So, never had to use any of those growls.
Just to bring up real quickly, for folks who maybe haven't played a Pokemon game before, battling Pokemon is really at the core of what the series is all about. You're going out into the world.
This
using
announcer
Pokemon,
just said,
battling-
you know, just for folks who maybe haven't played a Pokemon game before,
Okay,
in
so-
what world have someone not played a Pokemon game?
Yeah,
but it's
seriously.
That's
really
watching
interesting
E3.
in battle strategy,
What?
collecting all these really interesting Pokemon that you meet.
レベルが上がっ
And, oh, and Popplio leveled up. Good job.
Leveled up.
And it was nice to
Leveled
see
up,
how
chat.
the level up
We did it.
They also call it Ladybug.
ああ、そうですね。
Ladybug.
Oh, and this is actually something that we should talk about as well.
Registered.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about what they're seeing on the upper screen here?
You better tell us what we're seeing. We
We
know what we're seeing. We're seeing what you call
Alright,
it.
so what, I'll translate. I know Japanese. So what we're looking at here is there's a thing called the Pokédex, and when you see a Pokemon, you write it down, and if you catch it, you write down its other stuff, and if you
Yeah.
get them all, then you can show off to your friends on the school bus.
Until like 300 more.
Yeah, but check it out. If you get them all on the school bus on the ride back from school to your house, you take out your Game Boy and you show it to them and you say, "Got them all. Got them all, guys."
If your buddy's got a link cable.
If your buddy has a link cable,
You
the
are
purple
in
one
business.
with the translucent links on the end,
Absolutely.
you plug those into your Game Boys, and then you do a battle.
Oh, yeah. And
Or
then
you
if
can
one
just
of
use
them
Bluetooth
moves-
or something now, I don't know.
If one of you moves like half an inch, you're probably gonna disconnect. But
Yeah,
Yes, especially
and
exciting, I think, when you find
it
one
won't
and
work
there's
if you
lots of, like,
reconnect. So
Pokeballs and you're just
I guess that's why they have
Sometimes-
Bluetooth
got a
now.
lot of work to
sometimes the game gets corrupted and you lose Pokemon.
Sometimes you turn on Pokemon Yellow and it doesn't have your save anymore.
さあ次は
What are you gonna do?
Sometimes you try to do one simple glitch to do
Riveting! It's a young goose!
新ポケモンですね。ヤングースというポケモンです。
Look at its majesty! Do the camera zoom.
ていくとこう怒りポケモン。
Do the camera zoom. I'm
As you
waiting.
can see, this is the
Zoom in on the blue
Pokemon
Pokemon. Ah!
always hungry, so it's always
We did it!
hungry and then so it's looking for food, but whenever it's
Look at his stupid face. Zoom in on somebody again. That was awesome.
I feel kind of bad for it though. I feel like we just throw it a bag of chips or something and it'd be like, thank you.
かわいそうですね。ちょっと餌を当ててあげてもいいんじゃない
おお
it's close.
いい感じですね。
Oh, getting close there.
This is riveting
Come on,
gameplay,
come on. You'll
guys.
probably be able to catch this one.
This is exciting stuff.
Oh,
Good luck.
You know, for a second there, I thought we were gonna get bogged down watching the largest open world in Legend of Zelda history. I'm glad that
we're doing this
I'm glad we
instead.
pushed that garbage to the side to watch this
And actually, this
formulaic
will give us a chance to
series.
maybe take a
Reggie
look
Fils-Aimé
at
walks on stage
some
like,
of
oh,
the
this is the
Pokemon
biggest
combat.
Zelda ever, and you can wear armor, and there's all kinds of weapons, and you can do whatever you want, and you can cook food, and you can go hunting. Yeah, what? Yeah, shut up. Show me Pokemon.
Did you get buffering
So
just
we've
now?
got some,
I did.
some interesting changes.
Okay, good.
I say, get that stuff. I'm getting it again. I say, get that stuff out of my face. Give me Pokemon. Show me,
Yeah.
show me one Pokemon use Squirt Gun, and then do it again, and then level up, and then do Squirt Gun again, and keep using Squirt Gun,
Helps you,
and never
There's a
stop.
Rotom in the oh, buffering again.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of buffering over here. I'm still looking at the Rotom Pokédex. Is that a Pokemon?
It'll tell you
Yep.
Looks like one.
Yeah,
Pokemon
the
name.
Rotom fused with your Pokédex.
What the heck's a Rotom?
Early in the game,
It's
we
a-
can
it's
go
an
over the
electric-
touch
I'm sorry, I'm 21 years old. I don't know what a Rotom is.
And here,
I've never heard of that.
Take a little quick circle around. We can show off.
This
not
isn't
only
for
the
me,
weapons, but also the
clearly.
movement is a little bit
No,
different
it's
than
a
what,
Pokemon.
we've played previous Pokemon
This is
games.
a nice hill, though. Never seen a hill like that in a Pokemon game.
Yeah, seriously.
Happy to see that.
はい、今回フリーに
Is this gonna be one of those things where the overworld is so much better than the like combat of the game?
And the combat's
And
the
I-
meat
when
of
you
the
can tell
game.
players what's
Yeah.
going on here when they're seeing the shadow come in.
どういう意味ですかね。
What?
Huh.
Oh,
まあ今
Oh, I like that.
It's like a heads up. It's like, hey,
投げてるんですけど
someone's gonna start something.
ポケモン
Ah!
トレーナーの視線に引っかからないように、まあ上下でこうその緊張感を
More
it's
buffering.
it's like the focus button.
My god, Nintendo. Yeah, it's like the focus button in
So you see
GTA.
that lady over there, or the girl, throwing a Pokeball up and down, and so she's a Pokemon trainer.
I like her
Whoa,
pose.
she's a Pokemon trainer? What happens if you stand in front of her?
What that kind of shadow that appears on the screen indicates is that there's that she's going to challenge you to a battle. So it kind of increases this sense of tension of you're about to go into a battle, and that indicates that to the player.
You're about to
So
go
I can
into
either
a
avoid
battle?
her or actually battle.
I don't understand. Battle?
I thought you can only battle in grass.
Yeah, like, it feels like that moment
Grass
when people are
battle.
glaring at each other.
I'll show you my sister. I'm super cute too.
But it is really nice
What?
if you're in a position where maybe you're trying to get somewhere really quickly, or your Pokemon aren't in great shape
What?
right now, to fight. It's
You know, 'cause that's what
something
girls
where
talk
you
about,
really
is being
quickly just
cute.
kind of stumble
And they're
yourself into a battle.
sisters. I'm pretty sure I've never met a girl. Let me be very clear. I've never met a girl before. But from what I've heard, they talk about how cute they are in comparison to their sister.
And it's really nice, actually, just to get such a good look
Oh,
at the
man.
Pokemon proportions alongside.
Yeah,
their
this would be
trainers.
5 times better if any of us spoke Japanese. Yeah, yeah, her sister, Dr.
Her
Lovebox.
sister, dude.
Yeah, but she's cute too. Let me. I know you probably didn't see that part. She said she's also cute though.
I really love
Not
the
just her sister.
strange Pokemon class system
Mhm.
that feels the need to announce the type of person you're fighting.
Yeah.
Like, heads up, this is a last.
Yeah. Last Julia. Oh, so does she have like high magic damage or something?
Yeah, she's the last.
Like it doesn't matter.
She's the last class.
It could say individual wants to battle. They have Pokemon. You're like, yeah, sweet. I love fighting Pokemon. Bring the Pokemon in. Forget about the trainer. I don't give a crap.
モーションを工夫してまして、例えばボールの投げ方だったりとか、まあポケモンに指示を出す仕草とか、まあそういったものが。
Alright guys, next year we're gonna learn Japanese. And the stream is gonna we're gonna rapid fire like the Sony stream, like the Sony stream last night. Just boom, 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 boom. Game trailers.
They lose, for example.
Next year, hopefully, Nintendo will get back to the direct thing. Oh no, was that a running animation? Is it even worse?
We can battle up here.
It looked like you were like
He
this.
walks like a robot! He's like, oh, hello, yes, I am a human trainer. Don't mind me.
He's physics-based.
The music in this
And I don't
game,
What
like
is
that.
that walking?
I found it's really great how it feels. It really fits in with the tropical environment.
I thought you could only battle if you were like 10. This kid looks like 4.
素晴らしいですね。南の国
Ah! Preschooler Oliver. He's a preschooler! He's not even in kindergarten!
Rules
He's
against
in pre-K! Kill his Pokemon! Show him who's who! Get out there, Blue One! Do the zoom thing!
And we can see as Terry's battling here, with how the battle interface is set up, it's really easy to just get super involved in the battle to whatever extent you want to.
I like that they're showing this
but also
combat
to make it
gameplay like it's
fingertips. It's not
engaging
that
or
you
something.
have to look
Yeah.
at it all, but it's so nice that if there's anything that you
Walk
need to
over
check
here.
on,
Battle.
you can do it so
Water
quickly,
gun.
and you
Yeah,
still
like
feel
that's
really
like
immersed.
Water gun. Water gun? Wait. One more water gun. Okay. Walk over here. Water gun.
Pokemon is also one of those games where it's almost like it's a slow starter for sure.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon becomes engaging as you get, a party of Pokemon.
At like
some
level
good
30,
food.
you
Yeah.
start at level 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, it really,
So what they should have
there's a lot of
done
depth to the
was
battles,
skip
but
to
you
like
don't
the
have to-
third
for
gym
beginners, for example,
and
they
show
don't
us that.
or they won't remember a lot of these.
Or maybe they're
different
not that
stats,
far
but
yet
you
because
can
this
really
is
quickly
pretty
check
early
them
in
and
development
see-
stage.
see how things have changed.
That's
They
why I
make it
love
the way that
the
you play it.
pictures animation. It's so cute.
気絶の演出が今日可愛いですね。
何が出るというのですかね。
I always have a soft spot for Pokemon with the teeth. There we go.
Pick a
キツ
peck.
ケラですね。
ダンダダン
キツツキポケモンなんですけども、まあ1秒に16レベル
Can we get some Kappa faces in the chat, please?
言われているポケモンですね。
So this is a pick a
You
pick.
guys
I need 3 Kappa faces. I'm gonna need 3. Thank you.
So the setting of this Pokemon is that it can actually peck
I'll wait
16
here.
times in 1 second. So it's got very fast beak.
16回というのは特徴だよね。
16回っていうのは大
We're very particular.
Oh, look, he's using water gun again.
That's interesting, yeah, watching its animation as it's...
What do you think's
it's
gonna
kind of
happen after
rhythmic
that?
Movements as it's kind of twitching its head side to side, and I think that the level of detail that you guys have put into all the Pokemon animations in this
There we
game is
go.
fantastic.
Thank you, Octosloths.
すごい細やかに設定してるという話だったんですけど、キャップわかりますね。これもう鳥みたいな感じでしょ。そうですね。首を横に振ったりとか。
Oh no, no, Terry!
Oh wow, you died.
Dr. Lovebox is simply incapable of Kappa.
まさかの。
Hopefully one of your new friends is ready to help us out.
Maybe you should have healed those animals you maimed before
As a good
coming
chance
into
to
this
mention,
fight.
Actually, we did find a Pokeball earlier as we were walking around, and you can find some good items to help you out.
I don't know
along the
who
way
that gentleman
can help you
is,
heal up your
but it's
Pokemon
not
and-
Kappa.
まあこの後そうですね。
ハイリスク。
Stone lightning.
持ってるので、まあバトルが終わったらちょっと回復できるんじゃないかなと。
まあ捕まってよかった。
What? They caught the Pokemon.
Whoa, they got the Peaky Peck, the Pikachu Peck, the Poke Peck, Pokédex. What was that thing that fused with your Pokédex somehow? Also, what? Is it magical? Did a Pokemon fuse?
Yeah.
With a technological device?
Well, he's like made out of like lightning or something.
Created
so
by
it
Gary Oak's grandpa.
fuses with
So do we have anything we can give Yoda?
electronic appliances, I guess.
You're ready.
That's what he likes doing. That's a weird evolutionary trait.
Like he became a vacuum at one point in like the anime.
How did this Pokemon evolve to do that? Independent of human beings' technological innovation for 2,000 years.
Run it too.
Terry, you gonna heal up?
Okay, I guess not. Good.
We'll get healed up.
We'll get healed up.
I think before we get to
patched
the
up.
festival, because that's...
How much longer are they gonna
that's
play
away,
this?
There's more fighting in your future.
More fight.
It's 12:36.
そうですね。
回復した方がいいんじゃないかっていう。
So actually, as we come into this area here, we're going to be meeting several different characters that our viewers...
Oh my god, it buffered. That's the most exciting thing that's happened in minutes. Also, the Nintendo stream is buffering a
maybe aren't
lot
familiar
for
with.
me.
Would you mind just giving us a quick introduction to...
It's messed up, yo. Quit buffering. What's wrong with you?
この先もバトルが待ってるので、
そうですね。
回復した方がいいんじゃないかっていう。
Oh, it's like
So,
there's this
actually, as we
stupid
come into this area,
bar
we're gonna be
thing
meeting several different
on
characters
YouTube
that,
that's
our
making
viewers
it
are familiar with.
overlay
Give us a
on
quick
top of my
introduction.
whatever.
He's actually the guy who gives you your first partner Pokemon in your adventure.
すごい強いトレーナーですね。
A very strong trainer on this island.
この子はハウっていうキャラクターですね。まあ、ニャビーを今連れているんですけど、この後、お祭りで一緒に戦います。
So this is how
Oh, that
your
ground
battle
texture
game
is
actually
crazy
is
blurry.
part of this festival.
あと、ククイですね。ポケモン博士です。今回は、技の研究をしているという博士ですね。
And that's Professor Kukui right there in the white lab coat. He's a professor who specializes in researching Pokemon moves, so like their attacks and such.
I think based on the fan response I've seen, he is quickly becoming the most dreamy Professor. Thank you for the fan.
He is so dreamy.
Lily says she doesn't like seeing Pokemon hurt each other, but since it's for the festival, she's cool with it.
It's for the greater good. We all must sacrifice for the festival gods.
Lily, behind you there, she's the assistant of Professor Kukui, and she's not a Pokemon trainer, but she'll join you on your adventure throughout the story.
And sharp-eyed viewers may have noticed her bag is kind of interesting.
Say, ちょっと彼女が持っているバッグちょっと
Say
気にな
no,
りますね。
you're not ready.
なんかありましたか今。
Was there something there?
い
Yeah.
や、もうわかんない
ちょっとね、さっき動いてたけどね。
いや
でまだ言えない。
Unfortunately.
動いてたのは見ちゃった。
I haven't been this bored in a week. This is phenomenal. I have business phone calls that I take regularly, and this is not riveting in
It's gonna be really
comparison.
interesting for fans of the series to see this
Yeah.
battle and the space. The way that Pokemon and Pokemon battles are integrated into the culture in these islands is really interesting, and you get these amazing battle spaces where other folks are gathering around and watching you guys fight.
このやっぱこう人間の社会にもやっぱポケモンとポケモンバトルそのものがこう
Pokemon
自分の中ですごい
battle
大切なものっていうのがすごく伝わりますね。やっぱこういうしっかりしたこうバトルアリーナみたいな感じもできてて。
そうですね。まあ今回このお祭りなんですけども、2人の旅立ち
No,
を
Poplio can't take care of your son because
祝うという
he's
かそういう
dead.
儀式になっています。戦った
Oh, yeah.
2人は島を巡る冒険が始まる
Oopsie.
ストーリーになっ
We
てい
never healed him.
I think you're 2 seconds ahead of me now.
This is kind of a celebration.
Because I had to refresh.
Kick off both you and how adventurers to kind of travel across the island. So it's kind of a ritual in this
Are
society.
you in the battle yet?
Yeah. The kid just stretched his arms, and then it did an anime.
And folks may have
Yeah.
noticed there was another thing where we can't really talk about.
Oh,
it, but
dang, it's
just
a
mention
Pichu!
Poco.
あそうですね
Worth paying attention to that name.
Oh, no.
Might be important.
今後に期待してください。
If you use a squirt gun, it's just not going to be effective.
And so, how about a Pichu? Who looks adorable.
可愛いですね。
Kawaii desu ne.
頑張ってください。
He used tail whip.
Leave it to me.
任せてください。
And here we can see
See what he's done for
checking
me.
different effects.
Oh,
Oh,
that's cool.
that's pretty nice. All right, there we go.
I want to see stuff like that. I don't want to see battles.
I don't want to see you using water gun 4 times. Oh, look, you did it! You did water gun.
So looking at this tropical
It's not very
environment, I'm really
effective.
hoping that you guys were able to pull off some business trips to some nice tropical locations maybe. I mean, it's for research, it's work. Just have to go.
今回まあ南の国という設定なんですけど、やっぱこう研究目的でこういろんな素敵な場所に行けたんじゃないでしょうか。
あそうですね。まあ
Potions are back, in case anyone was wondering about that.
ハワイに行ってですね。
Were they gone?
店舗見たり
Nope.
デザインにも行く
Oh. Don't worry, guys. Potions are still here. They've been going strong for 20 years. We're keeping them going.
Utilize that to kind of reflect it in the game and
I should have convinced my boss that I need to do that to prep for this. To really get this segment, I really need to go to Hawaii.
今回のこのセグメントのためにやっぱこうハワイに行ってくればよかったですね。自然ということで。
Come on, Terry, show us what you got.
That's one down.
Nice.
What? Dude, they used water gun this time.
Started,
Yeah.
I think Hal has one more Pokemon to go.
That's astounding.
一匹ですね。
はい。
Did Poplio learn
Ooh, I missed
disarming
one.
voice? For
Oh
you?
yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna put that in my notes. My big list of cool E3 notes. Popolio got disarming voice. We're gonna put that right next to the PlayStation VR note in levels of
Yeah.
importance.
もう見ているという設定に
And the $300 Xbox One.
Yeah. Poplio learned
どれが効果が
disarming voice.
I would say that that is as important
Point in the story, you
as
see,
Kojima's
Hal
new game.
which is another
Yeah,
one of the
pretty much.
first Pokemon you can choose in your adventure.
That
But you've
and
actually
Fallout
gone
4
through,
on the
you
HTC
battled
Vive coming out
with him
next
and
year.
it's written once in the story. And so
Eh.
once you've, in Pokemon
Those
Sun
to
and Moon, once
me
you've
still
battled
fall
Pokemon
second,
once,
I would
the next
say.
time you battle it, you'll get information on your move list about
To something
which
this
moves are
crucial.
effective and which ones aren't.
This is this is
is
still happening.
Clinton used Ember.
Can someone send an email
So I guess
to Nintendo, please?
so-
Tell them to wrap this segment up.
I'll stick with that one.
Yeah.
I'm sure they won't go any further than this battle.
So it's just coming back to make it all very
Oh,
easy
dude,
for
water gun!
beginners to begin.
Yeah, it really
That's
is
a
so nice
twist.
to have that information.
Alright, chat, what do we think they're gonna use next?
I think especially when you're trying to catch
Water gun?
more Pokemon, you're like, okay, I actually maybe don't want to be
Maybe.
super effective right now. I need to kind of wiggle this Pokemon down. So
I don't
being able
think
to remember,
they
maybe
would.
you want to use your weaker attack sometimes.
That's a
to
risky
kind of get
maneuver.
Just to that point.
捕まえたい時とかもやっぱこう効果抜群じゃない方とかをあえて選びたいところあるので
Hyper Beam. Probably Hyper Beam. Oh, it's already over.
勝ちました
They didn't use Hyper Beam.
Powers about
They
it.
probably would have if it had gone one round longer, though.
So I don't think we
Hoo-wee!
can go too much further in the gameplay.
Another
because
great
we're gonna start
battle this
giving away
year.
story elements that we
Oh,
don't want to show folks yet.
Yes.
Good
but
old
you did bring another
Tapu
video for us to
Koko.
take a look
Liked
at
it.
that has
Still ahead of you.
a new gameplay
Yeah.
mode. That,
We're getting out of the game.
Pause.
folks have seen before.
Got it.
On
この
pause.
先やっぱ実機プレイを進めるとストーリーのネタバレ的なところも映ってしまうことになるので、ここまでにして、ただもう一つちょっと映像を持ってきていただいて、持ってきているという理解なんですけど、初めて今回初登場の新しい新モードという
そうですね。
理解です。
ポケモンはやっぱりコミュニケーションツールとして今までこう対戦とか交換とかっていうのをやってきたんですけども、今回はさらに
That was the least exciting part of all of E3. Congratulations, Game Freak, you did it.
So with Pokemon series,
For me, that's still gonna be them talking about the Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh yeah, that was really boring. Never mind. That was awful. That was really awful.
This time that's no different. We've got an all-new.
At least there were 3 of us then to hang out.
Battle Royale.
All right, well, let's see if our crew can load that up for us and we can check out this gameplay.
Battle
And at
Royale.
least one of us was into the movie.
So as we get started here, can you tell us a little bit about what the rules are for Battle Royale and how the matches are decided?
そうです。このバトルロイヤルなんですけども、4人のプレイヤーがポケモンを
This
3
dome
匹
is
ずつ
packed and
バトル
filled
に
with
出して戦うという
excitement.
ルールです。今日はちょっと時間の関係で1匹にしています。
So in this mode, it's actually 4 players. Each player chooses up to 3 Pokemon and battles with 1 at a time. In this video here, we're just doing 1 Pokemon for the sake of time.
Oh, so this is like 4-way battling?
バトルロイヤルの勝敗につ
That's
いてな
pretty
んですけども、誰か
Seems hard to
の手持
keep
ちのポケモン
track of,
が
but
全て倒されたら試合終了となります。
So how this actually works with how it determines the winner. So this is a free-for-all battle, but whenever one of the trainers, when the first trainer to lose all of his or her Pokemon, that signals the end of the battle.
倒したポケモンの数と、残ったポケモンの数の合計が一番多いプレイヤーが勝者となります。
And then once the battle is over, once the first person loses all of their Pokemon, it's then to determine the winner, the game tallies up
No, you see,
each
that I could
player's,
get down
how many
with.
Pokemon they've defeated,
I like
and
the
also how
sound
many
of that.
Pokemon they have
Oh
on their team. And whoever has
God.
the highest number
Look
is
on
the winner of
Facebook
Battle
right
Royale.
now.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting.
I'll let
what this
Dave
is gonna
Carrick
do
just
for
post it on this new game
strategies
design
folks are
thing.
playing, because
And be upset that
generally
you don't live
speaking,
on
when you're thinking
campus
about how you're gonna switch up your
for the
Pokemon
summer.
to fight another trainer.
Oh,
It's
cool.
only a one-on-one
Nah,
situation,
nope,
so you
never
can
mind.
look
I don't wanna
at
look
their
at that
Pokemon and say,
anymore.
I've got this Pokemon that's going to be strong against this one, but you're worried about 2 other opponents here, so you really have to think.
Don't
about
mind me,
who's
just
gonna
crying.
be against a group.
Just kidding, I have an alright
Yeah,
gig.
it's-
そうですね、やっぱこう今までだったらこうチーム戦とか、あと1対1のポケモンバトルが、多分主流だったと思うんですけども、今回はやっぱこう相手、3人気にしなきゃいけないっていうのは、特徴ですよね。
そうで
So,
すね。今回特徴としてこう4匹いるポケモン
so I guess this works in a way similar to the final battle of Smash Tour in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, where rather than the last person standing
So, yeah, it's a
winning,
free-for-all. Of course, you know,
the
if
battle
people
ends when
gang
the
up on
first
the
trainer
strong
loses all of their
person, you really
Pokemon,
have to
and then whoever got the most
determine
KOs
strategy about how
wins the
you're gonna,
battle
which order you're
royale.
going to defeat Pokemon, who you're going to focus on. So totally new.
I'm into that. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's interesting
That
how
to me
much more
seems like I'd
intense
have
it
more
feels
fun
where
with it
I'm
than
used to
regular
just looking at the
battles.
trainer in front of me and fighting them, and suddenly it's like, oh, there's 2 more trainers. I have to pay attention to everybody. And folks watching there, you may have caught that the trainers there were wearing different outfits from what we saw with the regular player characters that we've shown off so far. We can't really talk about that yet, but worth noticing.
Yeah, but none of the player characters had beards. Still not interested.
You got a good eye there.
これあれですね。今回着せ替えが入ってます。
So yeah, you can actually customize your outfits in this game as well. So.
So we're just about out of time, but before we wrap up, I was curious now that you've had a chance to see some fan reaction for these games. How's it been seeing how Pokemon fans have reacted for Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon?
ちょっと時間が来てしまいましたけれども、今回の、ポケモンサンムーン発表されてから、多分ファンからの反響というのはあるんですけども、その手応えについてお話してもらえますか。
そうですね。今回、7言語から、9言語に中文を、増やしまして、
This segment is killing me.
使われてる人たちからもたくさん反響いただいて、
Why did you get me so excited about The new Zelda game. Why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to the viewers?
So yes, the reaction from everyone has been really great. I get tons of messages and tweets and everything. This being the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, one of the goals we really want to kind of for the future of Pokemon, really kind of expand it to even a wider audience. And as I think we've announced previously, in addition to the 7 languages we had in X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, we also added Chinese, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese. And I think a lot of especially from those regions, like fans have really been kind of excited about it and sending me lots of great messages.
And is there anything final that you'd like to wrap up and say to fans who are watching the stream right now?
ちょっと最後にファンに向けてのメッセージということで何かありますか？
そうですね。もう今までにないチャレンジをこのソフトはサンとムーンはしているので、皆さんすごい楽しみに待っててください。
So yeah, I think
the segment is finally drawing to a close.
For us here as Game Freak, so I hope everyone really just look forward to the games.
It's only the first Treehouse I've watched. I think I like Nintendo Direct way better.
I've watched a few of the Treehouse things they did last year. Or
Not
not last year, the year before last. And that was a lot of fun. Because it was like they did the Direct first, so they announced a bunch of stuff. They showed me what I
know I'm definitely looking
want
forward to it. And thank you so
to,
much, for joining us
see,
and
and then
giving
it
us
was
some
like,
insight
if you
into
want
the
some more
development
in-depth
work
look at the
here.
gameplay of some of these
That was
games,
Pokemon Sun,
come back
Pokemon Moon,
for
coming out
the
for
Nintendo Treehouse
3DS
stuff,
family of
which
systems
was
this
cool.
November.
Like, they did a
So
full
much
segment where they played Hyrule
and,
Warriors for
please
like an
don't go
hour and a
anywhere.
half,
In
and
a
that
few
was
moments,
so
we're actually
cool.
going to be coming back. Aonuma-san is going to be stopping by to show us some gameplay for a game you might be thinking about, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right
Here
back.
we go.
That segment.
There we go. Right on.
It's gonna take looks like they're taking a brief break, and then coming back to...
Taking a little breaky poo.
Yep.
I'm so happy that that's over. I'm so glad that we're on the other side of that segment.
Yeah,
Thank God.
I mean, I feel like even, channeling, like I was a fan of Pokemon for many years, don't get me wrong. I really loved the games a while back. But I feel like there's such a better way to showcase that style of game than what they did.
Yeah, that was a... I mean, like, if you like Pokemon, cool, whatever. It's just not for me. I'm not even saying it's like a bad game. It just doesn't do it for me. But I feel like, yeah, I absolutely agree. That was a bad way to present the new Pokemon game. I feel like even if you like Pokemon, that wasn't really showcasing any of the aspects of Pokemon that you're into. Like, we didn't see a stats screen. The one thing that we did see was the little overlay that shows you the temporary stat effect. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They barely showed that at all. They didn't really show... Like, is EV training still there? I know that's something that Pokemon players care about. Can I still breed Pokemon? How is that system still working? Is it changed at all? Like, how do you travel between?
We're not saying that they should be playing their full hand so early on. I don't want them to show me everything about the game, but it's like some of the things that are new, like the fact that you can see temporary status effects, show me that they're taking care to make the experience more player friendly.
Yeah.
And they're striving to give you more access to, like, sort of taking a look at your own experience. And
because there's typically so many stats and numbers that are hidden from you in Pokemon.
Yeah.
And you want full access to that the entire time. Like, I can't imagine playing Dark Souls if I didn't know exactly how much damage I was doing and what scaling I was getting from my weapons and the stats that I have that are affecting them. Like, it's really good that they're now giving that stuff directly to the players.
And I really want to, see more of that in action. One thing, I probably am alone on this, but I feel like one thing that would really bring me back to the Pokemon series would be 5 moves instead of 4 per Pokemon.
Ooh, look at you killing it.
Because I feel like the 4, to me, it feels very restricting and it feels incredibly simplistic, which appeals to an audience. I feel like it's good for an audience of younger people, but that no longer is the majority of Pokemon's audience. It's a lot of people who play Pokemon are people who grew up with it. So I feel like adding an extra layer of complexity to it, and I'm not talking about EV training or anything like that, because to me that's too complex. I think an extra layer of complexity to the basic combat would really bring me right back to the series, you know? And I think something as simple as adding a 5th move to each Pokemon would be fine for that.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab a
Yeah.
snacky poo. Hold down the fort, chat.
So next, we're going to be having a look at Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is shaping up to be a really interesting game. I noticed that armor. That was a very special added feature that I didn't think we were going to have a look at. That kind of goes back to what I was saying during the opening section of the stream about how Zelda should be starting to gear a little bit more towards easy customization and control over character appearance, as well as some aspects of combat. And seeing multiple different weapons and cooking and all these different things, it really sort of shows how incredibly expansive this game is. And that's even without having any details on the story or much of the world. So I'm really excited that they're about to get into some gameplay on that. I think that we're really going to see, in a bit more of a practical way than that trailer, how this game is going to turn out. So I'm wondering if they're planning on making any more announcements at all. Like, I know that these games and showcasing this gameplay is going to be their main focus for this conference, but I'd really like to see if they're going to, maybe just one surprise announcement. I think it's interesting to see how Nintendo operates, because they always try to have one game that takes up, the primary focus of whatever they're doing for E3. Like last year it was Star Fox Zero, which unfortunately wasn't able to garner as much hype as I'm sure they would have liked, but it was still sort of the centerpiece of their presentation. And the year before that, it was Super Smash Brothers. And for a while, I think Super Mario Maker also sort of fell into that category where, last year it was Super Mario Maker, actually, rather than Star Fox Zero. Star Fox was a big one, and it was very important to them, but all the transitions were Mario Maker themed. They showcased the new Mii costume thing that they added to the 8-bit sections of that game. So, obviously Zelda's the main focus of this game, but they always sort of add little bits of information to keep hype around things other than, just that one game.
Alright, and they're still on their intermission.
Yep. I was just having a little chat with myself about the focus of how Nintendo does pick one game to focus on.
Yes.
E3, and how I still think that we can expect, one announcement.
Well, Reggie also said that they'd be putting a lot more time into the Zelda thing, and then the lady that was running that segment also said that they'd be doing the Zelda thing next. Sorry, I took a little while. The mail came.
That's exciting.
PSN having a sale.
Yep. What is that about? You want to give us any details on that, Dr. Lovebox?
You want to come in hot with some info?
Sick deets.
I like sick deets.
This is going up on YouTube, so...
And I like sick beats.
Like to be able to verbalize for our viewing audience.
That's very true. That's very true. I'm just opening up a package unrelated to games.
Okay.
And since we're not doing anything, I'll show you guys what I got. This is my official unboxing. This is a lockpicking set.
Huh.
You see that? It's a whole bunch of lockpicks.
So it does have something to do with games.
Yeah, it's kind of a game. And a lot of games have that. And that includes a transparent lock. So you can actually see the tumblers and stuff. Let me be very clear. I don't know how to pick a lock. And this doesn't come with a guide, so I'm just going to kind of figure it out. It's just been something I've always wanted to know.
For the sake of robbing the innocent, correct?
Primarily for robbing the innocent and people less fortunate than myself, yes.
Good, good. Okay. Still just kind of waiting. Still just waiting. Jeremy increasing his lockpicking skills.
Yeah, I try to get him up a little bit here and there. Trying to join the Dark Brotherhood. I know that they, they want you to be stealthy, so
They
I figure
dabble
it'll
in
help. I figure
the
it'll help.
art of picking locks.
That's the kind of guy that I am.
Oh, and we're back.
I think you might just be a couple seconds ahead of me. Can you go ahead and pause?
Hey everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm
On
Ed
pause.
here with Bill and Noriko, as well as a very special guest, Mr. Ayanuma, has joined us here. We're going to talk a little bit about a little game here that I think a lot of people are excited about, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Before we jump right into things though, Mr. Ayanuma, I think, is there anything, a message you have to the fans?
アヌマさんからファンへのメッセージを。
ゼルダのね、当たり前を見直すって言って作ってきたこの、ブレスオブザワイルド、いっぱい話したいことあるんですけど、もうトレーラーも見ていただいたし、ファンの皆さんは早くゲーム見たいと思ってると思うんですね。なのでもうゲーム始めたいと思うんですけど。
While we wait for that to be translated, here's some pasta.
Thinking about breaking the conventions of Zelda, and I know that a lot of fans have seen the trailer, and they probably want us to jump right in. So why don't we get started?
Let's do it.
Oh, sweet, we're jumping right in, guys.
We're going to be showing a lot
up the
of The Legend of
volume,
Zelda today.
and I'm gonna cut our
Starting right
faces.
here. We're going to show you what you can do, and we're going to introduce you to this amazing world, but we're going to try not to spoil anything, so feel free to tune in for as long as you like.
ネタバレなしで。
Oh, maybe you're ahead of me now. This screen, did you see the open
One
your eyes
Mrs.
thing
Seki.
yet?
Yep. I just saw it. I just paused for a second.
Okay.
Go black.
Oh, I got a white screen now. See, open your eyes.
You just turn white for me.
Okay.
Open your
One second.
eyes.
Good.
Open your eyes.
It's cool that we're seeing it with the Wii U gamepad and not with whatever the NX controller is.
Please, I need to know. We have a shirtless Link.
Yep.
In this game, you play as shirtless Link.
This is a very mysterious place, Aonuma-san.
Inspired by Naked
ちょっと
Shulk.
神秘的な
I
場
was
所
just
です
gonna
けど。
say, yeah.
そうですね。ゼルダの当たり前を見直すって言いながら、昔いつもと同じような目覚めるシーンから始まってますけどね。
I've talked about breaking the conventions of Zelda, but Link does start by waking up.
Keep that rooted in the tradition.
伝統を守るという感じでいいんじゃないでしょうか。
ただまあ本当にミステリアスな、ね、場所で、不思議な感じですね。
This really is a mysterious place, and it's kind of very
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your
What's
long
this
slumber.
voice acting?
How long has Link been
We
asleep?
see the introduction of a very mysterious item.
神秘的なアイテムが出てきましたが。
ね、ゼルダって今まで剣と魔法のね、そういう世界だったんですけど。
There's no Japanese translation for the word item.
So in the past series,
Oh,
we've
that's
used
pretty cool.
swords and magic, but this time around, we introduced technology.
Oh, technology. Alright.
I know a lot of people are going to be so excited to see how that plays out in this game because that's such a great new wrinkle to add to the Zelda franchise.
このシーカーストーンがどんな感じでゲームで使われるのかっていうのをファンの皆さんが期待してると思います。
でもやっぱり宝箱を開けるんです。
And so, he's going to start by opening the treasure box.
宝箱から出てきたんですね。
Oh my gosh, look at that. He's equipping armor. There's a whole armor selection screen, guys.
裸同然でしたから。
Link was pretty much naked.
これ裸でもできるけどね。
So you can actually play
Now
this
that
game
is different.
if you want.
Yep.
Not quite my style.
僕のスタイルではないのに遠慮しておきます。
はい、OK です。
That would also make you very vulnerable to enemies, just so you know.
で、敵にもちょっと。
I like that a lot, actually equipping armor. So if that's exactly what you wanted, a little more character customization.
Yeah.
And honestly, who doesn't want more character customization?
The voice said "Wake up, Link."
Of the Sheikah Slays
So I'm glad it seems like what we were saying.
Yeah.
Nintendo's finally.
Link is Link. It's not, what is your name?
This is Link.
Patrick. Wait, wake up, Patrick. That's me.
So it starts.
Oh, that cell shader.
You are the light.
Oh my god. This is so good.
I bet you Ben Sequoias is freaking out right now.
Now go.
There's like full voice acting, and that's really cool. I hope that NPCs have voice acting too. Also, there's a jump button. That's new.
Oh wow! Holy heck! This is an open world
so
game.
You can see on the screen it says jump. Now Link can jump for the first time. And the jump is for him to climb up the wall.
You guys can't see me, but I'm like clutching my chest right now.
He is having heart palpitations.
Wow.
Oh dang! Is that big old volcano?
Yeah, it looks like Death Mountain.
Breath of the Wilds.
Now we see the subtitle on screen. Perhaps this would be a good time for Aonuma-san to talk about that a little bit.
サブタイトルが画面に出てきましたけども、これについてちょっとご説明いただけますか。
ゼルダってね、今までアイテム名とかキャラクター名がサブタイトルにつくことが多かったんですけど、今回はね、この世界そのものの名前です。
So in the previous titles, we used character names and item names as subtitles, but this time around, we wanted to showcase the world of Zelda.
And I think, especially from that sweeping panoramic shot right there, we see how much of a character the world is, how much of a presence the world is in this. And I know, hearing some of the iterations of possibilities for the subtitle, and you know, I remember the moment when I first heard Breath of the Wild, and it was just like, oh, that's it, that's the right one. It felt so right with this. In tune with the nature and the sort of expansiveness of this world.
Buffering. Kill me.
このゲームの背景を見たり、その自然の要素っていうのを見ていると、初めてそのサブタイトルを伺った時に、あ、もうこれだ、これがもうぴったり合うっていう風に感じました。
Look at that! Look at him climbing up rocks.
I see they brought back the stamina system from Skyward Sword.
So Link can climb the mountain or the wall.
It's not bad. I think for
you saw here.
having so many different types of movement, I'm sure there'll be some way to supplement that too.
So that is the green. You see the green gauge on the left. That's the stamina gauge.
Yep, they're talking about the stamina gauge now.
How much he can climb by that gauge. And then there's a lot of items scattered all around the world, and you can take those. You can pick those up. And then, as Nintendo, we of course have to have this item right here, mushrooms.
We love our mushrooms.
This mushroom is not going to make Link any bigger.
Good to know.
Look at that, he's just pushing that boulder. So it looks like you can really interact with the environment, is what they're trying to show off here.
So as you can see, Link can push off big rocks down the hill. He can use all these little items and elements and incorporate it into gameplay.
See already Bill doing some gathering, a lot of climbing here. And already there's this sense of you're just thrown into this world of exploration right off the bat.
Head for the point marked on the map near Sheikah Slate.
Somebody's calling you, Bill.
I really need to understand who this
So here we get our first look
is.
at
Who this
the map.
disembodied voice is.
This circular area here being the extent of the E3 demo that we're showing. This is a high plateau in the center of Hyrule. We'll give you just a sneak peek of how big that is, but I think you'll get to see a
Oh!
better look at the scale of the world. Later
Wow, this is
on
pretty
today.
big.
Yeah. I'm sorry, was that a mission?
Can I just kind of do things as
Oh, I
I
got a
decide
baked
to?
apple.
It's a real open world. Yeah, this old man is yelling.
He scolded you.
Oh. Now, who is this gentleman, Mr. Aonuma? Would you
I like
to
that old
share with
man.
people?
この男性は誰なんでしょうか。ご説明いただけますか。
不思議ですね。
He's kind of myserious looking.
ね、一番最初のゼルダで出会ったのもこういうローズです。
Oh my god, he actually has choices in dialogue.
Met a guy
Yeah.
like this.
He says this is the Great Plateau, and he describes it as the birthplace of the Kingdom of Hyrule.
That is amazing. Has Link ever had dialogue choices other than "Did you understand my instructions"?
Absolutely not.
Chat, this is big. If you're not freaking out, then I don't think you understand what's happening.
So
Yeah.
you can see the temple.
This is a whole new chapter for the Zelda series.
Yes, he says the kingdom is in a state of decay.
An arguably new chapter for Nintendo.
So I picked up a tree branch earlier. Currently, it's all I have for a weapon.
Oh,
but you
wow.
can see very quickly
That's
the things that I can do with a tree branch.
Oh wow, actually catching that grass on fire.
And I can...
You can do a lot of things, but you can't just set everything on fire.
Right. I think we've just seen a window into Bill's play style.
Whoa! He just got an axe.
yeah.
I picked up an axe.
I wonder if he can use that in combat or if
So
it's just
I
for
can
chopping trees.
also swap my weapons out. So I'll switch over to the axe.
Got it.
The
Okay.
axe is
Oh my
great
god,
because
he
I can
did.
chop down trees if I want to get to some apples.
Used all the resources.
Right? I can even chop the logs that I've cut to get firewood, which I can later use to set a campfire.
Now that is cool.
So it's very nice and neatly bundled up already for you.
It's amazing.
Convenient. Yeah, I think honestly, first time I got my hands on the ROM, I spent the first 20 minutes like chopping down trees.
But Nightshade just said cook it to increase your stealth. So it looks like you have like stats, I wonder? Oh, holy heck.
Hey.
I've always been a big fan of the Koroks.
この子たちはね、この世界の至る所にこう隠れてるんです。
So these guys are actually hiding everywhere in the world here.
Oh, what do we have there?
Aonuma-san, that looks like I've already come across the Master Sword.
Maybe you found it.
見つかってしまったか。
Did you get it already? Did you find it?
あ、まずい。
I like that you can just scale rocks. It's a rusty broadsword.
No.
こんなところにね、そんな重要なものがな置いてあるわけないでしょ。
There's no way I'm gonna play something that important here.
That would be the ultimate in breaking with the Zelda conventions.
それはなんかゼルダの当たり前を見直
I
し
can't get over the fact that he has 3 different weapons right now that he can switch between.
Now I do need a shield, so I think I'm gonna run up this way. As you can see, the world is open to me. I can go any direction that I want, but I'm gonna run up here through the grass.
This is so cool because if you
and that
juxtapose
sword,
this
so
to
perhaps I
Ocarina
should
of Time,
cut some grass.
he would be stuck in this area by some annoying kid that simply wouldn't let him pass.
Yeah.
And right now he's just running around freely as much as he wants.
どうやって回復するんだって話ですよね。
So I guess you want to know how Link can get life
はい。じゃあちょっと敵と
after
戦って
getting
み
a
ましょう。
damage. So let's try fighting some of these enemies.
Bill has stumbled onto a goblin camp here.
Oh,
He's gonna dispatch them with some extreme prejudice here, I think.
Is that a health
There
bar
we go.
I just saw?
it's not much of a shield, but
It
I've got
might
a
just
pot
have been
lid.
stamina.
No, I think that there was a health bar above the enemy he was hitting.
Oh.
Oh, he's taunting me. Oh no, I'm gonna need some health here in a bit.
No.
Oh, yep, I think so.
And his sword broke, so...
His sword broke.
That's a health war.
Look at that.
Oh, I stole his spear.
Now he's using his spear. Look at this, and the weapons have different attack animations, like Dark Souls or something.
You know, so far, this doesn't at all look like it's losing the spirit of Zelda in any way.
While improving it and changing its design drastically.
Yeah.
So this is very, very interesting. I think this game is a definite purchase for me.
Oh,
the cycle of this game is that
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then so you can use them as your own.
I'll probably buy this alongside the NX
So perhaps we'll
TVH.
head down and check out some of these ruins. Oh, yes.
Your heart's getting a little lower, Bill. So let's see how you can...
Eat that fruit.
So you can see that little heart icon on the mushroom. And then it shows that you can get half of the heart back if you eat it. So this time around, you're not going to find any hearts in the grass. But
No hearts in the grass, baby.
These food items, and you can get your stamina back up.
Using that way to replenish your health. I love that notion of really having to take advantage of the resources in the world with grabbing the weapons we were talking about. You know, you're getting those from enemies. You're finding them in certain places and then using the food as this resource to keep your health up is also really interesting. It's a lot of fun.
敵の武器だったり食べ物だったりそうやってリソースを駆使して進めていくっていうゲームのスタイルがすごく楽しいです。
そうですね。だからねちょっとねサバイバルな感じですよね。現地でとにかくいろんなものを調達しなきゃいけないっていう。
So it's almost like a survival game where you have to collect all these items so you can move on with the game.
Now, I would like to know with a game like this.
Yeah.
About dungeons.
Yeah, I imagine that the dungeons are just sort of, you just kind of walk in. Oh, I wonder if there's something similar to, I don't remember the name of it, but the, one of the handheld Zeldas that came out where it was like, you can go into dungeons and you're still going to need, different equipment and stuff to get through them, but there's different paths depending on what equipment you have with you. And it's sort of up to you to bring whatever you want to go through it in different ways.
Is that the Oracle games?
No, it was one of the recent ones. Where it was like you rented equipment.
There's quite a lot to
for
look around
3DS,
at.
where you don't have to do the dungeons in order. You do a dungeon based on what item you buy from that shop.
Yeah, that was the one.
Aonuma-san, we don't have a good idea of what's going on in Hyrule here, but everything seems to be in ruin. And
荒廃化というか、なんか遺跡化してしまっているので。
そうですね。これも昔のトレーラーでもお見せしました。今回のトレーラーに見たガーディアンですね。
So interesting. This seems to be set far in the future.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Which is such a stark contrast from what has thus far concluded the 3D Zelda series, was the very beginning of the story of Hyrule.
Yeah. So this is distant, very distant. I love these ruins.
So I know a lot of people are going to be really excited about how you're dropped into this world, and there's minimal backstory. There's not a lot up front in this game other than here you are. What are you going to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And then yet there's so many hints in this environment about that hint of something greater has happened, and I think people will be really interested to see the story sort of unfold as they play the game.
ゲームが始まってから、どのような舞台設定なのかっていうのはユーザーさんの方でまだ詳しく分かりませんけども、こうやってゲームを進めていくうちにいろいろとヒントが見つかって、こんなんなんじゃないか、あんなんなんじゃないかっていうふうに考え始めることでユーザーさんも楽しまれるんじゃないでしょうか。
そうですね。 っぱりそういうことが自然とこう分かってくるっていうのが面白いじゃないですか。ゲームって端的にこういろいろ伝えたくなっちゃうんですけど、今回はねそういうところがもうじわじわとこう分かってくる形になってぜひ楽しみにしてほしいと思います。
It's a beautiful little jingle.
You'll be able to learn these backstories, like you said, Ed. That you'll be able to learn them.
Wow, the bow right away, huh?
It's not that the game is telling you, but you can kind of explore and find out on your own.
This might also be a good time to talk a little bit about the art style and just the nature of the game itself. If you look at Link and the world, it's clearly deeply inspired by Japanese animation.
で、今のリンクのアートスタイルなんかを見ると、日本のアニメに随分と影響を受けているんじゃないかっていうふうなことが感じられますけど、どうでしょうか。
そうですね。ゼルダで言うとね、風のタクトの時にトゥーンっていう表現を使って、
Come on, do more stuff.
Run around and do things that I like.
それはね、そういう世界が広くその自然の中にものがあるんですけど、それをはっきり分からせるためには描き込むよりももっと簡素な
I think there's like a full day-night cycle in this game, isn't there?
Yeah, and a weather cycle, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
So we've used this toon like style before in the previous title, but in order for the players to see an item, to find an item, it's actually easier to use the animation style where you create something and then you shave off the elements, so the users will be able to identify the items easier rather than adding on elements to the background.
なのでそのアニメーションっていうその技法を使って表現するってことがテーマではなくて、
Thank you for
それをね
playing.
ゲームの機能に合わせてそれを選んだってことなんですね。
So the theme here is not that we wanted to create an animation style game, but we wanted to use this art style and then match it to the functions of this game.
And you see here the time limit on the demo that people will have access to on the show floor.
Yeah, we were supposed to disable that. That was my mistake. What we can do is we'll skip through a few things.
It's an organic playthrough. It's true to the nature of the game itself.
で、ゲームの本当の自然な形に今沿っているので、こんなこともある。
そうですね。今日体験してもらえるものを生で皆さんにも感じてもらったってことです。
Oopsie.
And I think people saw, you know, that
Bill's
actually
got a
gives
look
people at
of,
home a sense
look
of
of
how much
bloodlust
time
in his
is spent
eyes.
here.
He's like,
And as Reggie said, nobody's
I
gonna be
told
able
Phil
to
to turn
explore
off the
even just a
damn
small
time limit on my version.
here at E3, and that speaks to
I'm the one
how
doing
this
the
experience
piece.
is gonna be, and I think that people are going to be really excited to just get that little taste of it.
さっきレジも言ってましたけれども、本当に今回ショーフロアでデモをしても、本当に一部の部分しかマップの一部しかゲーム内の一部しかプレイできないので、今のこの切れてしまいましたけれども、それでどれぐらいの本当短い時間にどれぐらいちょっとしか見れないかっていうのが、ビューアーの皆さんにも分かった、視聴者の皆さんにも分かったんじゃないかと。
そうですね。
But in going back and talking about the art style, the colors are very reminiscent of a type of paint called gouache. And gouache was actually it's a material that is used frequently in animation. But it's also a material that's used in a style of painting that is called en plein air, or in English, open air painting, where you go out into the environment and you sit down in front of the object that you intend to paint, and you paint it in that real world setting. And then, as we started looking at the art style and its similarities to gouache and that connection, we also started to feel that the music in the game also has a very open air feeling to it. Isn't that correct, Aonuma-san?
このアートスタイルも随分そうやってグワッシュとか使っているような感じのスタイルですけれども、音楽自体もとてもなんかオープンエアっていうテーマにぴったりな気がするんですけども、そこら辺のご説明っていうのをお願いできますか。
どこに行って何をするのも自由な今回のゲームなのでね、あるルートに沿って遊んでってもらって、その間にこう音楽を
Yo, he's got a big watch. That thing is
So because the
huge.
players will be able to explore and do anything that they want to, we couldn't use the conventional types of music where we know that where the users would go, and we can kind of get the music more dynamic as the users explore certain areas of the map. So this time around, we kind of took a different approach.
なので今回は、ゲームの BGM をですね、環境音、今大自然の中のこの音がありますけど、それに融合させるような BGM の使い方をしてるんです。
So as you can hear, there's a lot of environmental sounds that you hear throughout the game, and then we try to blend that music, that sound into the game as much as we can.
先ほどから見ていただいてたまにこう流れてくるピアノのねがあると思うんですけど。
And then you can hear a little piano sounds of piano throughout the game.
だって本当の偶然の出会いなんですよ。だから100人いたら100人の人が違う体験をする。
I get what they're going for. I do with what they're trying to show us right now. But and this is just my nature. I really want to see a glimpse of the story of this game.
Well, they probably won't show us much of that at all because they want to keep that pretty
I know
pretty spoiler free.
Series, that's going to be one of the first things they notice.
Hurts.
You know,
Yeah.
the constant theme music always
Hurts the
present
body.
everywhere you go.
We'll get there.
And this new take on the on the aural experience is really refreshing. It's true to the game, and it does resonate. It feels really good to play.
ゼルダファンにとっては常にこうテーマ音楽が流れているような。
Yeah, he's got.
本当の偶然の出会いなんですよ。だから100人いたら100人の人が違う体験をする。
I get what they're going for. I do with what they're trying to show us right now. But and this is just my nature. I really want to see a glimpse of the story of this game.
Well, they probably won't show us much of that at all because they want to keep that pretty
I know
pretty spoiler free.
Series, that's going to be one of the first things they notice.
Hurts.
You know,
Yeah.
the constant theme music always
Hurts the
present
body.
everywhere you go.
We'll get there.
And this new take on the on the aural experience is really refreshing. It's true to the game, and it does resonate. It feels really good to play.
ゼルダファンにとっては常にこうテーマ音楽が流れているような。
Yo, he's got a big axe and he's gonna mess up these goblins with it.
BGM に関してはすごくみんな。
Oh! Whoa, that was sweet. He like dodged it and then went into bullet time.
I get it. I get why this took so long now.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Take your time, guys. This is looking great.
Bill continuing
There we
his
go.
campaign of brutality.
裸ですね。
Yes, I forgot to.
I'm a little
Sorry, I
surprised
forgot
that
to
the
turn
Wii
that on.
U is going to be able to...
Just like any other day.
Oh, no, that's
So
not
we
true,
do
because
have,
Xenoblade X
you know,
is
one of
pretty big.
the things that we're
Or
not
this
showing
big, but pretty
in
big.
this morning segment that's going to be coming up in just a little bit is
I
puzzle
mean,
solving.
it might just be the
We'll
stream, but
seeing
the
some of
game
that
certainly
today. We'll
doesn't
be
seem like it's
seeing
running
quite
on
a bit of
60. Like, I'm sure that this game is really pushing the hardware to its limits. It's really taking full advantage of the capabilities that it has.
That you can kind of experiment with the,
I mean, yeah,
the
there's like a
environment,
game
in the
that does
world
that
here in Breath of
every
the Wild. So I'm just going to have
every
a little bit
gen.
of
Like
fun,
for
with
Wii,
a little
I think it
project
was
I wanna try out
probably.
here.
Well, I mean, a few games on the Wii push its hardware to the limit.
Like a good example is The Last of Us on PlayStation 3 was maxing out the PlayStation 3. It came out right before the PS4 came out, and it was the best you could ever do on that console.
Okay, well,
I like that you call this setup a project, Bill.
let's see. Do
ほぼ
I,
何がしたいかわかりません。
I don't know what you're trying to do here, Bill.
let's see if it's close enough. Nope. Oh.
What are you?
Give
What
it
are
a
you?
look.
What's your aim here, Bill?
Let's see if we can make that happen. Oh, no, not quite.
あ、なんとなくわかる。
Oh, I get what
Maybe I
it
have
is.
an idea here.
Oh.
Hey, you
That was
live.
awesome.
I survived.
死なずに。
Well done.
Now,
でもかなりやばい状態
that
なんで
was
But look at your
yeah,
heart, Bill.
that was
What a
quite
maniac.
dangerous.
Thank you for joining us for Bill's
Actually,
project.
we have a little, yeah, we have a little bit of news. I think everybody has been excited for some special Zelda items coming
Bill's a pretty
to
cool guy.
Miitomo.
なんかミートモに新しいゼルダのアイテムが登場するということで。
We've just been told that those items will be going live at 3 p.m. Pacific time, so be sure to check into Miitomo today to get your free Zelda-themed items there. We have a lot more Zelda coming up today.
A lot more Zelda.
As we've talked about, we're really focusing on introducing you to the world, the things you can do in the world, how you're going to be surviving. It's really all about the
So they only have like a half hour left in this.
You won't be seeing so much in terms of characters and story.
What else are they going to show
So
us?
if you're the type of person who doesn't want to be spoiled, feel free to tune in all day.
Yeah.
で今日も午後からいろいろとキャラクターとストーリーというにフォーカスしたものではなくて、他の要素にフォーカスしたツリーハウスライブのセグメントがあるので皆さんご覧になってください。
まだまだたくさん伝えたいことがありますのでよろしくお願いします。
There's so much more I want to tell you about this game, so please look forward to it.
Yes, so stay tuned. We're going to take another look at our next segment. We're going to be focused on some exploration. So thank you, Noriko, Mr. Ainuma, thank you, Bill, thank you very much for your time. And don't go anywhere. We got more Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild coming up.
All right. I know we said we were going to be streaming till 2, but I think at this point it's just going to end up being them showing more of Zelda. And I'm cool with that and all, but I also want to take some time to write a few articles and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So,
it's not really as concrete a stream as something like the other like Ubi or Sony or Xbox.
So I think we are going to wrap things up here. I want to thank everyone again for tuning in to our E3 streams. You know, this has been a lot of fun. Our chat has been super awesome, and we really loved you guys engaging us in conversation and whatnot. Tomorrow, at the time that we would have our podcast normally, which is 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing a post-show where we'll basically be doing a bit of a wrap-up session, talking about things that we thought were the best at this year's E3. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned on Mustafa's Game Room and MMO Examiner for more E3 updates and news, and come back soon for more from the Game Room.